In the shadowy folds of Roman history lies a mystery that has baffled scholars for centuries. An entire army, Legio Ninth Hispana, the Ninth Legion, once proud, once powerful, simply vanished from the pages of history. No battle report, no formal disbandment, no burial site, just silence. How could Rome, an empire obsessed with record-keeping, lose track of one of its most decorated legions? And what terrible fate could have erased them so completely? Today we explore the enigma of the Ninth Legion, one of antiquity's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. The rise of the Ninth Legion. The Ninth Legion was no minor unit. It was a hardened fighting force forged in the brutal crucible of Julius Caesar's campaigns. From the blood-soaked fields of Gaul, to the sun-baked provinces of Spain, to the rebellious frontier of Britain, the Ninth carried Rome's eagle with unshakable pride. Founded in the violent twilight of the Roman Republic, the Ninth earned its reputation in Caesar's Gallic Wars. Its soldiers displayed discipline, valor, and endurance, qualities that helped secure Caesar's legendary conquests. When Caesar fell to assassination, Rome plunged into civil war. The Ninth sided with Octavian, later Augustus, and fought for the future of Rome itself. Bloodied but victorious, the legion was rewarded with imperial favor, continuing service in key provinces across the empire. By the 1st century AD, their path brought them to Britannia, Rome's most volatile and treacherous frontier. The peril of Britain. Rome's grip on Britain was fragile. Beyond the southern settlements lay the wild north, lands of thick forests, brutal weather, and fiercely independent tribes. The Ninth was tasked with holding these territories, a mission as punishing as it was dangerous. In 60 or 61 AD, they faced disaster. Boudica, queen of the Iceni, led a massive revolt that engulfed Roman Britain in fire and blood. The Ninth marched to confront her forces, but fell into a deadly ambush. Nearly the entire legion was wiped out, only fragments survived, returning broken and humiliated. Rome rebuilt the Ninth, but its reputation bore the scars. In an empire obsessed with honor, failure left a lasting mark. Still, the Ninth endured, garrisoning forts, fighting skirmishes, and pushing into the northern frontier. They remained Rome's sword arm in Britain for decades. By around 108 AD, inscriptions confirm they were stationed at Eboracum, modern-day York. But then, the trail goes cold. No records, no redeployments, no casualty lists. The Ninth simply vanishes. Theories of their disappearance. What happened? Scholars have debated for centuries, and several theories compete for the truth. Theory 1. Annihilation in Scotland. One of the most dramatic theories holds that the Ninth was destroyed in a catastrophic campaign deep in Caledonia, modern Scotland. Facing overwhelming resistance from northern tribes, the legion may have been completely annihilated. Supporters point to the massive fortress built at York around this period, hinting at Rome's military escalation. If the Ninth was sent north as Rome's spearhead and perished, the silence that followed would make sense. Rome may have deliberately erased the defeat from its annals to protect its image of invincibility. Theory 2. Redeployment to the Rhine. Others argue the legion wasn't destroyed at all, but transferred. Rome's military machine was constantly shifting troops to hotspots across the empire. Some evidence points to the Rhine frontier, where Germanic tribes were causing unrest. In fact, an inscription discovered at Nijmegen in modern-day Netherlands mentions the Ninth Legion after their last recorded presence in York. Was this proof they were reassigned? Or merely a detachment carrying the old name? Theory 3. Sent east to Judea or Parthia. A third possibility places them even farther afield. Around this time, revolts broke out in Judea, while Rome also faced threats from Parthia in the east. Some historians suggest the Ninth may have been sent there, absorbed into other legions, or lost in forgotten campaigns. The silence of the records. The greatest obstacle to solving the mystery is the total absence of official documentation. Rome was famously meticulous. Every legion's movements, victories, and losses were carefully recorded. The fact that no destruction, redeployment, or disbandment of the Ninth is noted is both strange and telling. Some argue it was a deliberate cover-up. The loss of an entire legion would have been a devastating embarrassment, especially one with such a proud history. Erasing them from records may have been a political move. Others suggest the disappearance was due to bureaucratic neglect. As legions were moved, renamed, or merged, paperwork could be lost. The Ninth may have simply dissolved into other formations, its name forgotten, though its men continued to serve. Beyond the historical record, myths of the Ninth's fate live on in folklore. In the Scottish Highlands, tales speak of a great Roman army swallowed by the mists, defeated not by men but by the land itself. Though these legends cannot be taken as fact, they reflect a cultural memory of a vanished Roman force. To the locals, the Ninth became a ghost story, a reminder of resistance and survival against the empire. Interest in the Ninth's fate re-emerged in the 18th and 19th centuries when antiquarians and historians began piecing together fragmentary inscriptions. Since then, archaeologists have scoured Britain for evidence, forts, barracks, and battle sites. But no mass graves, no lost standards, no battlefield debris tied to the Ninth have been found. For some, this absence proves annihilation in the north. For others, it supports the transfer theory. If the legion simply left Britain, no ruins would remain. The puzzle endures, deepened by each new discovery that raises more questions than answers. The disappearance of the Ninth is not unique. Other legions quietly vanished or were absorbed into new formations. Rome sometimes retired legions without ceremony, especially if their reputation was tarnished. The early 2nd century was a turbulent time. Threats rose across Rome's vast borders, forcing constant troop movements. In the chaos, a legion's identity could easily be lost. Some even argue that Hadrian's Wall, built in northern Britain, was partly a response to the Ninth's fate, a permanent boundary erected after the devastating loss of one of Rome's trusted legions. In the end, all theories remain speculative. The Ninth's fate is built on silence, fragments, and interpretations. Perhaps they were crushed in battle. Perhaps they marched east, never to return. Or perhaps they dissolved quietly, their name fading into administrative dust. What we know is this: their disappearance casts a long shadow over Roman history. A single legion, once central to conquest and control, was erased so completely that even Rome's meticulous records could not preserve them. In the wind-swept north, ruins are still pointed out as the last outposts of the Ninth. Locals tell of ghostly soldiers and buried swords. These tales, half history and half myth, keep the memory of the legion alive. Every so often, a new inscription surfaces, reigniting debate. But so far, no definitive proof has emerged. No grave marker, no battlefield, only questions. Perhaps the Ninth's enduring power lies in this very uncertainty. In a world obsessed with facts and data, the Ninth reminds us that history still holds secrets. Not every story has an ending, not every name survives the centuries. The fate of Legio Ninth Hispana is a testament to the fragility of empire, a force once feared across the known world, now remembered only as a mystery carved in stone. What really happened to the Ninth? Were they crushed in battle, quietly absorbed, or deliberately erased? The silence of Rome leaves us guessing, and that silence is louder than any words. All that remains is a question echoing through the ages. What happened to the Ninth Legion? If you enjoyed this journey into the mysteries of history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Here at Rakanor, legends live again, and there's always another story waiting in the shadows.